conducted a formal hearing. I just asked the state to turn over a copy of the search warrant and affidavit. Ms. Counsel, let me ask you this. I read your authority. Would you agree that they're entitled to a copy of just the search warrant, not the affidavit, just the search warrant?
At some point, but not at this point necessarily.
Well, can you explain that to me? Because if I sign a search warrant for someone's home and BSO goes to their home and executes the search warrant and they're there, they give them a copy of the search warrant.
Correct. But
Upon
in
its
this case,
execution.
it's Apple that the warrant is being executed upon, not the party themselves.
And you think your authority says that she's not even entitled to a copy of the search warrant?
Yeah, that's correct, Judge, yes.
That's your position?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. Okay.
What happened? Your balls drop off?
I'm gonna just be fair, square, obvious, and honest. We not gonna like this judge right here, bro. Listen. I'm one of the ones where I believe people can spot people's abilities of dislike from a mile away and go, yeah, we not gonna get along. But you know what? The DA's office, it seems maybe something is in that south water. Just gets caught out for lying. Check it out.
If I sign a search warrant for someone's home and BSO goes to their home and executes the search warrant and they're there, they give them a copy of the search warrant.
Correct. But
Upon
in
its
this case,
execution.
it's Apple that the warrant is being executed upon, not the party themselves.
And you think your authority says that she's not even entitled to a copy of the search warrant?
Yeah, that's correct, Judge, yes.
That's your position?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. Okay. Well, over the state's objection, I'm ordering you to turn over a copy of the search warrant. I'll put that in a written form today, so you can litigate that as you see fit. But I certainly think she's entitled to a copy of the search warrant. Probably that's it at this point. So, defense, I'm happy to hear anything you want to tell me, but based on our discussion yesterday, I think where we're at is I need to give you a date very soon in the future, a date in February, which is what we're looking at. And at that point in time, you're going to have to come back in here and tell me, and I'm going to have a discussion with Mr. Demons. I'm going to start that discussion this morning so he understands that he's the captain of the ship. This is his decision, but he's going to have to tell me if he wants Ms. Liberty to continue to be his lawyer or not. He's going to have to tell me if he wants all of you to continue to be his lawyers or not, or he's going to have to tell me that he's going to seek other counsel, but I think that needs to happen sooner rather than later.
I apologize to the court. Is the court entertaining this motion for reconsideration and not?
There was no motion or ruling. I think she's entitled to I think, listen, Mr. Demons is entitled to heightened due process. The state
Yes.
is seeking the death penalty. It is very clear that one of his lawyers is under investigation right now.
Okay.
He is entitled to have as much information as I have the ability to give him before he has to make a decision. Is there a conflict of interest? Does he want to waive that conflict of interest and continue with that lawyer as part of his representation? Or does he not? Does he want the lawyer to withdraw? And again, the Fourth Supreme Court has been very clear on this. He's the captain of the ship.
Absolutely.
He makes this decision. So if there was, again, I'll repeat what I said, I think to Mr. Aronson yesterday, if you all had some other authority that says I have some additional power to assist in the fact-finding here, I would hear what the state has to say about it, but I would probably be inclined to do that. But my inherent authority, or citing the U.S. Constitution, although I very strongly believe in the U.S. Constitution, this is a, I'm not involved in this. The underlying facts that are going to make a determination is whether there's a conflict and what Mr. Demons wants to do. This is completely 100% a decision between himself and his lawyers. I don't have anything to do
We're
with it.
not disputing that.
So I don't know what else I can do at this point. You've asked me to press pause on all these motions. I'll press pause. I'm not going to move this trial date. This trial is going forward in September. So if
Judge.
these motions are heard next month, or they're heard in March, or they're heard in August, or they're heard contemporaneously during his trial, which again would not be the
Correct.
most ideal way to do things, if that's what ends up happening, that's what ends up happening. But the one thing I can tell you is not going to happen is someone that has been in custody for 2,160 days, his trial is not going to be delayed under any circumstance. So that being said, what else would you like me to do this morning?
Well, a couple things. since the state filed a motion for rehearing, there are misstatements in their motion that need to be corrected.
It's kind of weird how no matter what, this has to go to trial. So if we find that YNW Melly basically wants to get rid of these guys because he might have felt betrayed or something like that, you're telling me once he finds that out that there's going to be enough stuff to basically say we can still go? What if it is like the last freaking month before the trial in August, and literally you're sitting there as Jamel Demons, and basically the damn state decides to say, you know what, we're going to prosecute your lawyer. And he said, whoa, wait. Because she's not charged. She's just under investigation, which I believe is a sleazy tactic by the state, because basically it is what it is on that part. But if she did something wrong, then charge her. Why announce the investigation? Unless you're trying to get her to say, I wonder what I did wrong. Let me go do something wrong to correct this, to make it right. I don't know, bro, but that judge, I'm telling you right now, I don't think he has any balls like that, because for the fact of the state to have done that and there's no recourse, he didn't say anything as far as, hey, you know, y'all should have let this be known and all this crap. The fact that YNW Melly's lawyer did not even want to call the state out for lying. He said it was misgivings or miss whatever to him. But just, I know he can't call them liars because he still has to maintain some sort of decorum and relationship with the DA's office. But if I'm YNW Melly, I'm like this, bro. They trying to kill me. They trying to get rid of me, bro. Hell nah. Let's go on with the misgivings, the misstatements, the misquotes that the DA's office put out. This shit gets pretty ugly. And some people are going to probably say, oh, it was a typo. I don't believe that.
And if I may, just go through the corrections that we saw. It's on number 1, it says the search warrant was issued in December of 2024. It was 23, not 24, a year earlier.
We agree with that, Judge. That way up.
In paragraph number 2, they said that the state disclosed an ongoing investigation to Miss Liberty. That is absolutely untrue. We learned of it through Apple. They confirmed it yesterday for the first time, over a year after the search warrant was executed. Paragraph number 5 indicates that this investigation is separate and apart from the defendant's current case. It conflicts with paragraph 11 that implies that this investigation is related to the tampering case of Mr. Demons. Is it unrelated or is it related? I think the court needs to know that, because if it's related, I believe, and we will file a written response under discovery, he's entitled to that information, anything that leads to relevant and important information. And I'm not asking the court to rule on it at this point, but I want the court to know that if it's related to his present charges under 3.220, we're entitled to that information. They make a statement that regardless of what Mr. Demons wants and is willing to waive the conflict, they believe that Ms. Raven must get off the case, regardless of that. That's their assertion. They have to prove it. And I want to put the state on notice that they must prove it. They can't merely allege that the conflict is so extent that even if this young man wants to waive it, they're going to come in here and say she must get off the case. That's what they say in this pleading, in paragraph number 11. That's a question for the court to determine, and they have to present evidence of that fact. we are still under the same impression that we don't have enough information. Pursuant to Your Honor's request, Mr. Aronson and I spoke to Mr. Demmons. I call him Melly if the court will allow me.
I'd actually prefer that you use,
Mr. Demmons?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
thank you.
Mr. Demmons, we discussed the potential of that. And if the court accepts my representation, or the court can inquire from him, he informed us that he doesn't have enough information to make that decision.
You're
And I
talking to
want
me
to-
about privileged communication.
Well,
I'm going to talk to Mr. Devens at the conclusion of the hearing this morning, everything that I'm allowed to talk to him about. I don't want to hear about anything that you all talk about.
I was just willing to proffer his statement of that fact.
Judge, he just cited 3 flat-out lies, and you just let that fly over your head. Are you? Listen, I don't know, and maybe this is just me judging a book by its cover. You have a Marine haircut, sir. You're supposed to know these things. You supposed to stand for something at least. You got to say something to the freaking state. You ain't say nothing. Man, listen. I don't know. I don't know if he was a Marine or anything like that. I got a lot of respect for Marines, but in this instance right here, I don't think he was a part of the Corps. And if he was, I don't know what part, because that right there just showed you ain't got no backbone. You just smiled and laughed and just looked all jolly and what? Like, bro, they just played in your face. And you ain't say nothing. One thing I can tell you about this, like when people were hating on Glanville and all that stuff, he wouldn't have stood for that. The judge ain't even asked the damn DA's office, you got anything to say for yourself for this? Nothing. Just sat there and took it. Hell no.
I take this decision to be the same way. It's a fundamental decision. This is a client decision. This isn't a lawyer decision. So, Mr. Demmons, raise your right hand for me. You don't have to stand. You're okay. You can sit. You swear to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Please state your full name.
Chanel Maurice Jimmy,
How old are you?
25.
How far did you go in school?
I graduated, well, I got my own GED.
You read and understand the English language.
Yes.
Are you presently under the influence of any drugs, medication, or alcohol?
No.
Have you ever been treated for a mental illness?
No.
Are they giving you any medication in the jail right now?
No.
How are you feeling this morning?
Confused.
I understand. I'm a little confused myself. Your head is clear? You're not hearing voices. You
No.
hear your lawyers. You're talking to your lawyers. You understand what's going on this morning?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so Mr. Demmons, here's the deal. You're, just like any other defendant, you're entitled to have a conflict-free lawyer or lawyers representing you. Okay, a lawyer that has your best interest in mind to the exclusion of anything else. You with me so far?
Yes.
Okay. The state has told you that one of your lawyers is currently under investigation. For what? I have no idea. But there's some ongoing criminal investigation. Okay? You with me so far?
Yes.
Okay. So this, what your lawyers correctly pointed out yesterday, raises immediately what we call a conflict of interest. In other words, maybe at some point during this litigation or some point during the trial, my lawyer's not going to do what's the best thing for me. My lawyer's going to do what's the best thing for my lawyer. And your two interests are separate. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, once your lawyers have had the opportunity to investigate all this, to get you all the information they can possibly get, so they can talk to you about all this, at some point, you're going to have to make a decision about who you want your lawyers to be going forward. You with me on that?
Yes.
Okay. Even if there is a conflict, you can waive the conflict if you want and say, Judge, I understand there's a conflict, but that's okay. I like these lawyers. They're doing a great job for me. They did a great job for me in the past, and I don't want to change, lawyers this late in the game. You understand that?
Yes.
Or you could likewise say the opposite and say, Judge, I don't feel comfortable with this. I think there's a conflict. I don't think Miss Liberty should be my lawyer anymore. I don't think any of my lawyers should be my lawyer anymore. And I want to go get some new lawyers. And if you want to hire your own lawyers, you can go out there and hire anyone you want. And if you want me to appoint lawyers to represent you, You would have to file an application with the clerk's office, and if they find that you're financially qualified, I could appoint lawyers to represent you. You understand that?
Yes,
The whole point I'm trying to make with you today, sir, is that this is going to be your decision. Your decision. Your lawyers will give you their best advice, and you have some excellent lawyers, okay, about what they think you should do. But at the end of the day, you can follow their advice, or you don't have to follow their advice. It's your decision. Do you understand that?
yes.
Okay. Do you have any questions for me about anything that I've said so far?
Can we have a moment, Your Honor?
Sure. No questions? All right. So, Mr. Jennings, I'm pressing pause on the conversation at this point. We're going to have the second half of this conversation at some point in the future. I hope it's sooner in the future rather than later, because the last point I want to make sure, and I'm giving you and your family and your lawyers as much notice of this as I can, your case is set for trial September the 10th, and that's not that far away. Do you understand that? Okay. Your case is going to go to trial on September the 10th. So if you change lawyers, you're going to get a group of lawyers in place that are going to have like 7 months to prepare a capital case, okay? So the longer it takes to make this decision.
I'm going to object to what the court has just said. What you're telling him is, right now, that he is basically having to stay with us as his attorney, because if not, then he'll get another set of lawyers that will not be prepared, and they will only have 8 months to do what has taken years to do, and therefore you're pushing him into the corner that he has to stay with us. I don't think that's fair what the court has said.
Over your objection, sir. That's not what I'm saying at all. I want to make sure that you understand that time is of the essence. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So I'm going to put him back on the docket, February the 18th at 9:30 a.m. This issue with the warrant will be resolved at this point, and whatever's going to be distributed to the parties will have long since been distributed to the parties. You all can file whatever additional motions you think are appropriate. If there's any motion that the state wants me to hear, you're going to do that in a notice of hearing. That's by the close of business on Friday, February the 7th. Defense, if there's any motion that you want me to hear, you're going to do that in a written notice of hearing by Friday, February the 7th. If I don't have something noticed in writing by Friday, February the 7th at the close of business, I will not be hearing it on Tuesday, February the 18th. Mr. Deming's case remains set for trial September the 10th at 9 o'clock. State, anything else that I can do for you this morning?
No objection.
Judge, that's what? That's 1,000,000% what you just did. He just basically said, you're going to stick with these cats no matter what, because basically, even if you hire some new attorneys, you still got to stick to the date. Well, goddamn, when is that going to be? Yeah, bro, I don't know if y'all as annoyed with this judge as I am right now, bro, but that's not fair. It's really not. If there's going to be, quote unquote, justice served in American law, it has to be served the right way, or we're not going to get, quote unquote, justice for either side, whether he's innocent or guilty. Because right now, it's looking like if YNW Melly is found guilty, he can file a notice of appeal, basically for duress for sure. He just said 2,160 days. Then you had YNW Melly like, how old am I again? What the? 25. Oh, I'm 25. Dang. Oh, I didn't even know that. So the judge is over here trying to play both sides and pull heartstrings. You hear the emphasis that he keeps on saying when he talks about how long Melly has been locked up, bro. I'm telling y'all right now, I don't see YNW Melly getting out as far as bail goes, because I'm not seeing it. I think the freaking state, unless they get 100% of people to say he's not guilty, I think they're going to keep on retrying this no matter if it's a mistrial or not. That's just my opinion about it. I think they're willing to do that no matter what. The fact that he hasn't been able to speak to lawyers and a civil suit and all that crap and everything like that. What? Like, bruh, so you mean to tell me that if I want to practice strategy, if I want to tell them this gap right here is this gap right here is this gap right here is this, that I can't even discuss that with my freaking attorneys until we're meeting up in court. You're telling me that's fair right there too? Yeah, bro, this just got mistrial written all over it, unfortunately. And it looked like the state is going to have their way with this judge who seems to not be fully aware. He might just be one of those I'm too nice of a nice guys type of thing and stuff like that. Because that lawyer was right. You're forcing him to stick with the team, not even disclosing information that would be pertinent to him, whether decide or not he should or shouldn't. You keep on saying he's the captain of the boat. He's the captain of the boat. Well, the captain of the boat got a goddamn map. And judge, they don't want to give the map up. And by the time he gets the map, it may be too late to rechart the course. Is that what you're trying to put out there? I don't know, bro. But as far as it go right now, the state just exposed, the defense just exposed the state was lying. The state just got exposed for holding stuff up. The judge just got exposed for not caring about nothing, being a stiffler for essentially this trial date of September 10th. So if YNW Melly does get a bond, and I'm not assuming he will, but let's just speak it into existence. If he gets a bond, you don't think that they're going to try to push that court date back? I 100% would. I'm going to try to push this court date back as far as I possibly can as we sit up here and gather more information and more strategy, or God forbid, prepare for the worst that may happen, which means he still has to figure out a way to make money essentially for his family, his estate, and everything like that. So I don't know, man. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts on this. Are you feeling like I'm feeling, or are you sticking with the state and saying, you know what, that lawyer may be dirty, so we can't give her that information because she might mess around and tamper with more evidence? But they're saying this ain't even pertaining to this case, which I believe is pertaining to Bortland's case, but it is what it is. I don't know, bro. This whole entire thing is confusing. I try to break it down as simplistic as I can, and this is as good as I got. But subscribe, turn on the bell, stay notified, share to keep your people aware. The reason you want to do that, man, it helps the channel grow. If you didn't know, we do a whole bunch of giveaways and stuff like that. PS5s, Xboxes. Well, this will be the first time we give away Xbox, but we didn't give PlayStations away before, and we didn't give away thousands of dollars. If that's something that interests you, go ahead and check out this video that's meant for you. Yeah, man, we just hit 200K. We on our way to 300, man. Subscribe today so you can find out how you can win an Xbox or a PlayStation, man. The details are on the way. This is how you know somebody is literally going to be in the drawing. Robin Minter, check him out, man. All we do is go down and we look and we see his subscriptions. Who does he have? That's Seti Nash right here. What also happens, take that off. Top commenter. That right here, public subscriber. So that's what you got to do, and make sure you share each video, and then you'll be entered to win. Shout out to Mike. Good luck. Subscribe, turn that bell, stay notified, and share to keep your people aware. I'll catch you on the next one.